Hey everyone, I'm Father Jeff Walker, the pastor of St. Thomas More University Parish at the campus of Bowling Green State University. I'm filling in for Nick here on Awaken the Word, and our word today comes from the Gospel of Matthew. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was thrown into the sea and caught fish of every kind. When it was full, they drew it ashore, sat down and put the good into baskets, but threw out the bad. So it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come out and separate the evil from the righteous and throw them into the furnace of fire, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Have you understood all this? They answered, yes. And he said to them, therefore, every scribe who has been trained for the kingdom of heaven is like the master of a household, who brings out of his treasure what is new and what is old. When Jesus had finished these parables, he left that place. Why is Jesus talking about weeping and gnashing of teeth? A furnace of fire? Isn't that a bit much? And we just heard this a couple days ago too, collecting the weeds and throwing them into the fire. It's not very upbeat and encouraging, is it? I recently ran across a show from my childhood called Seventh Heaven. I remember watching it a few times as a kid, and since it centers around the life and ministry of a Protestant pastor and his family, I thought it'd be interesting to watch it as an adult, and especially as a Catholic priest. I ended up watching almost the whole first season, I think, and was shocked that there's no Jesus in the show. I mean, perhaps he's mentioned once, maybe. They certainly go to church a lot. We see the pastor preparing his sermons and meeting with parishioners, but no Jesus. That wasn't the way I remembered it. I was shocked. This TV pastor, turns out, was more of a Christian counselor than a pastor. Not a very good Christian counselor at that either. Nothing about rooting out the evil vices which underlie sin. Nothing about transformation by the grace of God. It seemed as if his entire purpose was to make people feel better about themselves, to be upbeat and encouraging. Sometimes that's what we expect of Jesus too. We just want to be able to talk to him when we're sad or troubled. We expect him to provide words and feelings of encouragement and to tell us that it's all okay. But that's a Jesus we've invented, not the Jesus of the Gospels. The real Jesus is indeed encouraging, but he's also fiery. He's passionate for what is right and good, and he's radically opposed to all that is sinful and evil. He speaks about hell as a real possibility just as much as heaven. And that might make us uncomfortable. Good. Sometimes we're too comfortable with sin in our lives. That might make us uneasy. Good. We're more likely to persevere on the path to holiness that way. Jesus is a preacher of truth. He calls a spade and a sin a sin. He's not afraid to speak to you about the pains of hell, not because he wants to threaten you with going there, but precisely because he doesn't want you to go there. Heaven and hell are real, whether we believe in them or not. One of them is our final destination, whether we think about that or not. Jesus is a preacher of truth. So let us pray that we have ears to hear the truth he speaks. I'm Father Jeff Walker, and this has been Awaken the Word.